Good Saturday morning. This is tricky today because it is and it isn't. The letter to the Philippians, he's really saying thanks to everybody for looking out for him. Just really true to looking out for him. He says, I rejoice greatly in the Lord that now at last you revived your concern. You revived your concern for me. You were, of course, concerned about me, but lacked an opportunity. Not that I say this because of need, for I have learned in whatever situation I find myself to be self-sufficient. I know indeed how to live in humble circumstances, but I also know how to live in abundance. In every circumstance and in all things, I have learned the secret of being well fed and of going hungry, of living in abundance and living in need. I have the strength for everything through him who empowers me. Still, it was kind of you to share in my distress. Look at how he pulls together the practical and the theological and the religious. You Philippians indeed know that at the beginning of the gospel, when I left Macedonia, not a single church shared with me in an account of giving and receiving, except you alone. Everybody else, forgot about it. They didn't care about me. For even when I was at Thessalonica, you sent me something for my needs. You've been good. You looked out for me, not only once, but more than once. It's not that I'm eager for the gift. Rather, I'm eager for the profit that accrues to your account. I've received full payment and I abound. I'm very well supplied because of what I have received through a guy whose name I can't say. A fragrant aroma and an acceptable sacrifice pleasing to the Lord. My God will fully supply whatever you need. My God will fully supply whatever you need in accordance with his glorious riches in Christ Jesus. What a combination. He's grateful. This is a letter to his friends. So it's densely theological, but at the same time it's so personal. Yeah, you guys took good care of me. Yeah, yeah, and I'm glad, but I really don't need anything. I'm in good shape, but I really appreciate that you look out for me. What a neat letter. This guy's so human, and he's a genius on top of it all. But he loved his friends. They were good to him, and he's also makes them this thing. I like them all. He said, but you were better to me than the other guys. And I think of the way the order has been to me. I could never pay back in love or any other way, other than by love, the generosity shown to me by the order, by the Passionists. Not even the abstraction, by the community itself, the men of the community, my superiors, my friends. They took such raw material and they developed me. They really did. You had no idea. You have no idea. If I didn't go into the order, I doubt I would have got through college because I was a jerk in high school. I cheated my way through. That's really true. I'm not proud of it. It's just reality. I'm a jerk. But the order saw more than a jerk. They saw I had some gifts, and they developed them. And as they developed them, they sprung me loose. They encouraged me and let me and supported me getting a PhD. And then I remember Father Norbert Dorsey got arrested. Norb was the superior at the time. He was the number 2 guy. And he encouraged me to go get a teaching position. And I went to Bellarmine and taught there for 13 years, lived with the monastery. But then when I felt a real need to be on my own, to be more self-sufficient. And so when I came back to St. Louis University, at SLU, in 89 to chair the department, I asked if I could live by myself. And they said yes. And so I lived in an apartment and now a condo. They've supported me at every turn. They believed in me and they trusted me and they supported. And I hope I have lived honorably the vocation they gave me. I've been in the same parish 51 years. Since I got here in 1971, I've 5 years, and I lived there, and I kept going back and forth. When I lived in Louisville, came back here all the time, virtually once a month. And then I've been fully active in the sense of morning mass every day since 1989, except when I'm home or deer hunting. Yeah, that's the truth. 5 generations. And the generosity of the people, not financially, although that in cases, yes, true, but mostly their trust in me. I'm a wild Indian. I don't fit the mold. I don't fit the mold at all, and these people trust me. And they've welcomed me into the parish, into their homes, into the life of the faith. And that's their gift to me. That's their gift to me. And the gift of the pastors here. They could have gotten rid of me, but they haven't. And they've never asked me to be different than who and what I am. You see, isn't that neat? But when I see St. Paul saying, I've learned to have both. I could have a lot and have a little. I'm happy in my life, and I have been. because I've been blessed throughout and accepted throughout, encouraged throughout, supported throughout, and left alone a lot, as I wanted to be. It's really true. I know, there was, when the general consultant was here, he meant no criticism. You had to know the guy. There's a guy from Australia. He said, Ted, nobody in the order lives like you. And he was looking at the wolf and the bear. Okay. I guess he was looking at that. And I looked and I said, I know. I said, I have to do it my way. I've done it my way. For Frank Sinatra, I do it my way. And the order's encouraged for me to do it my way. And I have. I also teach my way. One of my students said that to me yesterday, or no, is it today's Friday? It was yesterday. I said something about what a crummy class. I said, I did a lousy job today, and I apologized to this young woman walking out, pre-med student, I think. Anyway, we were walking out, and I said, God, I'm sorry, I was just not on my game today. She says, you're my favorite teacher, because what you teach us goes very deep. I get to think. That's what she said to me. What a great compliment, especially because I felt like, did I waste your morning? I hope I'm not wasting your time. That's what I thought, because I felt I did so poorly in the class. I was not on my game, but maybe I was. Sometimes I think God really does write straight with crooked lines, and I'm the crooked line, but it's still my crooked line. And I think what I do with the kids is share them the wisdom that I've learned by life, what life has taught me. Sometimes going back to the kids of the old neighborhood, my Frankie Coppolas, you see, maybe. But sometimes what the order has taught me about redemption and the centrality of the cross of Christ. Just in my class, I have Hindus, Muslims, not too many Muslims, but Hindus, Buddhists, Christians of different sorts, and a few Catholics. It's a mixed bag. These are all pre-med kids. They come from all over the world. And I said to them, I don't want to say anything about anyone else, because I'm facing the problem of evil with them. I said, but I cling to my faith in the cross of Christ. I said, I'm a passionist. I see it this way. It's in my blood because of the passionist. And we preach Christ crucified. And that's the truth, and I do. Even in the classroom, I said, no one else has to buy what I'm saying. I'm just sharing my thought. That when I look into the suffering of humanity, I see this crucified Christ, and gives me hope that life triumphs over death, goodness over evil, love over hate, or else life's absurd. That's why I tell them, life's absurd. The evil is so massive in life. The suffering of the children, the suffering of the innocent, unless, of course, it's ultimately transformed in Christ himself. I said, I don't hold to my faith out of piety. I hold on to it with hope that life triumphs over death and love over hate, goodness over evil. And that's the truth. Yeah. Anyway, that's just my reflection this morning. Okay, you'll see it. Anyway, I am so grateful. And it's like St. Paul, for the people of my life, those whom I have loved and been loved by, my friends, Junie, my parents, my relatives, the people, the guys in the outfit, the order. By God, the men in the order. They taught me Christ. They taught it by their example, their words, and their preaching, but mostly by their example. We preach Christ crucified, died, and risen, the wisdom of the cross, the hope of humanity itself.